Hello everybody, this is Krista and welcome back to Adventures in Metaphysics. Now, today I have a video that is really fun. I did this for my spring decks, so I guess spoiler, spoiler not spoiler, I just wanted to show my summery decks today. I don't know about where you all live, but here felt like spring today, but we've had a string of like 90-degree days here, so it's been feeling like summer. So even though we are not technically in the summer season, I count June as summer. So I really love sort of working through my collection seasonally. As I've mentioned, I'm a very visual person, so having my decks fit the feeling and my outside world is what makes the most sense for me. So I really enjoy switching out my decks seasonally, and I notice that I tend to use a few in some times of the year and then not in others, and they just kind of rotate that way naturally. So it was a lot of fun to do for spring, and I just wanted to do it again for summer because I have two decks that are pretty much in my brain just like summer decks. I don't really pull them out any other time, which is totally, I love using them this time of year. So it just sort of spurred my brain to think about like, oh, like what else feels summery to me or is something that I really want to use when it's just warm outside and the sun is shining. So without further ado, let's turn the camera around and start showing the decks. Okay, so I think we are going to start out with the deck that is just so undeniably summery to me. This is, I know I said there was two that I only pull out in the summer, but the second one I tend to pull out more in the summer, but I will use it all year long. This one I only pull out in the summertime, and that is the Dame Darcy's Mermaid Tarot, and I actually just made this bag. This is yarn that my sister hand dyed. Her company name is Color Wheel Yarns. I will link it below if I remember to do that, hopefully. But I got this yarn when I was visiting her specifically to make a bag for this deck because I just thought it was so perfect. And then I had these little mermaid charms. How cute is that? Anyway, I am not someone who generally feels, oh my gosh, these might be my favorite deck backs though. Something about that blue, I just love. Anyway, so I am not someone, let's zoom in a little. Can I get any more distracted? Probably. Anyway, let's try that sentence for the third or fourth time. I am not someone who feels super connected to the ocean or really any watery things in general. So I don't tend to feel drawn to use any sort, really honestly, to get any ocean themed tarot decks. It's just not my thing. And while I love the idea of mermaids, I don't feel super drawn to them. What I like about this deck though is that it really, the images don't feel exclusively watery to me. Like, see this right here? I know it's by the water, but it's not, it doesn't feel like that pure ocean energy to me. And even the mermaids, I think it's just the style looks more kind of like vintage illustrations. Almost like this card reminds me of Scooby-Doo for some reason. And I think it's just the way the sky is colored in. I don't know. But a lot of the characters aren't mermaids, have nothing to do with the ocean, and so this deck really, really works for me. But even so, I think just the theme and the colors, I tend to use it pretty much so far only in the summertime, but I really liked it. I've had this deck for a bit. I think it's probably gone through 2 summers with me so far, so this will be the 3rd, and it's stuck around, and so this is one I really don't mind. I don't mind that it's kind of a purely summer deck. I feel like I say this all the time, but generally I like my decks to be ones that are pretty versatile and I kind of would pull out any time of year. And not to say that I wouldn't with this, but I do always like the few, like, seasonal, like, real seasonal feeling ones. Like my Halloween tarot in a tin, like, the ones like that. Or my Yule Oracle. I love that one. I like having those. And again, I love switching things out seasonally and just, I don't know. I think that's what makes, part of what makes tarot so fun for me. Because for me, there is a big difference between tarot collecting, I guess you could call it, and tarot reading. Because really, with how I read and how my practice generally works, I could use any tarot deck at any time. I just find joy in having things visually make sense for me. And it does really add something special to my practice and something that, again, really, really makes sense to me. So, what was my point? Where was I going with that? I don't remember. I don't remember what my point was there. So we're just gonna keep moving. I've probably spent way too long on this deck. But this is the Dame Darcy's Mermaid Tarot, and I'm so excited to bring this one back again. So if you watched my recent deck collection storage, restoraging system type whatever, I forget what I called the video, I got 3 bins, and 2 of them fit in my cabinet and will hold all of my decks. But I have actually taken the 3rd one and put it right outside of the cabinet, right next to my reading desk, and I've started rotating the seasonal decks in there, and that's been really, really fun. So anyhow, so the 2nd deck is one that I will bring it out whenever, but it really, really seems to get its time to shine in the summer. And that is the Gentle Tarot in this beautiful butterfly Peggy bag. I love that thing. And again, I really think it's, with this one, it's the colors. The colors and just the depictions of nature. I mean, as you all probably know, I am a nature animal deck person, so I will make it make sense any time of the year because that's what I love. That's, I don't want to say comfort zone, but like that's really where my practice lies. My personal spiritual practice, I guess you could say. So like these are, the nature animal decks are tools that I tend to use more in a spiritual practice kind of way, I guess you could say. But yeah, I just love, specifically, doesn't that look like summer? I just love these cards. And I think the fact that a lot of the, when humans do show up, they tend to be naked. So I think in my brain, it just makes sense of that, of like, it must be warm enough out to not wear clothes. Anyway. The bright colors, I think that's really all it is that makes this deck feel so summery to me, but this is such a favorite. I've had this one for quite a bit as well, and just, there's just something special about it. The guidebook is amazing. I did not order the full-size guidebook. I'm kind of going back and forth on it. I think if she put out, and maybe she already did, I have no idea. If there was a digital one, I might go for that. Because I do like keeping my guidebooks on my iPad, which is where my tarot journal is. But anyhow, I love this one. And all the rainbows. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is so summery. Is it not? It is. So that is the Gentle Tarot. So let's do an oracle next. So this one is an absolute favorite. I pull it out all year long. But if I had to pick a season, I think it fit really, really well in its summer, and that is the Prairie Majesty Oracle. And I think it's just it's got such sunny depictions of nature, and everything's green. Like, the sun has already shown up twice, and see all this greenery. And the summer, I feel like, is just when all of these creatures really thrive. Because there's plants, animals, things of that sort. And this is really, really such a favorite. To the point where this is the indie edition that I've had, oh my gosh, forever now. Probably since, I don't know, not since it came out. I don't know if it was on Kickstarter, because I did not know about Kickstarter at that point. It was just me and my my cat tarot. And actually, I did have the Jane Austen tarot simultaneously. I always forget that, but I'd never really used that one to learn how to read. It was me and my cat tarot for quite some time. In the beginning, I didn't know. I actually was thinking about this the other day. I realized that I didn't know TarotTube was a thing until this past, maybe October? I'm not sure. It was when I was learning how to crochet. When I was learning how to crochet, I just wanted, I mean, I still do. I spend just as much free time as I can doing that. I love it. And while I was crocheting, I actually started out by watching, this is gonna sound so dorky, but I would watch Pokemon streams, like people playing Pokemon, which I still do from time to time. It's so fun. I love those games. If you play those games, let me know, because I had never played those games growing up, but Paul did. And so we've been playing through all the old ones and the new ones on the Switch, and it's just been so much fun. Anyhow, I started like crocheting and watching those, and then I don't really know what brought me to TarotTube. I think it probably just was, saw a deck at Barnes & Noble or something and wanted to see more. But then I got so hooked. I stumbled upon Lisa Papez's channel first, I want to say. I couldn't even tell you what the walkthrough was, but then I watched probably every single one of her videos, and then from there I was like, okay, like this, there must be more creators outside of her, and so it kind of went from there. So total side ramble, but it feels like it's been just forever that I've been watching TarotTube and participating in it, but I just realized the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, it's only been a few months. I learned to read a few years back from podcasts, actually. And a few audiobooks, but really only one that I listened all the way through. Hello, Stevie. Hi. You here to say hi? You had to make your entrance, huh? Okay, see you later. Oh my gosh, this is such a side ramble. I should probably do this in its own video, but anyway. I just thought that was funny. It's really not been very long for me when it comes to TarotTube, but it feels like it has been. I'm like, there's no way that's possible. But my point in that is that it was a very long time of just me and my cat tarot learning how to read from podcasts and things of that sort. I never really, reading, I like to read, but consuming solid information just doesn't work for me in that way. Just, ADHD things, I suppose. So all of that to say, I did not back this up. Oh my gosh, what a freaking side ramble. I didn't know about Kickstarter, so I saw this because I had bought Kara's grandmother's oracle. And then I saw this one, and I was like, ooh, that looks amazing too. I love the grandmother's oracle. We have to give that a try. And I think I actually ordered them at the same time. So yeah, this one has been with me for quite some time. And I bought the mass market edition as well, partly because I had to support Kara. She is just such a lovely, lovely human being. But also, now I have this deck at work for me to use and not have to carry back and forth and worry about this one getting ruined or anything. So That is nice. We're going to put this one away now so that I stop going on and on about things that are not summery decks. Anyhow, that is the Prairie Majesty Oracle. Next up, oh, I just got a new Moonlit Fae bag. I mean, I love her bags, but the ones that get me are when they are collaborations with deck creators, and especially when it's decks that I love. I mean, to have one that like perfectly matches it. So I have, this is by Moonlit Fae, this is the Prairie Majesty bag. And my next deck is the Playful Heart Tarot. And I mean, come on. Come on! Okay, favorite part. Hold on. How does that not make you smile? I mean, it's so good. There was the option to get this fabric on the outside as well, but this just fits the deck so well, and it's pink. And then I kind of was like, you know what? It might be even more fun to have the kittens be the little surprise when you open it. Like, ding! Kitten. I love it so much. And I love this deck. So, it works. So this is the Playful Heart Tarot by Kitten Chops. And again, I'm gonna say it's the colors. So I use this one all year long. It's such a favorite. This one really kind of brings me back to myself, because my childlike ways are something that come very easily to me. But, you know, as happens with everyone, there are times when I just get really kind of disconnected from my true sense of self. You know how I feel about that card. This makes literally every piece of me smile. Oh my gosh, I can't. Anyway, this helps me reconnect with my true childlike self, which is the part of me that I just love and enjoy the most. And so I'm really glad to kind of have something that, when I'm not really feeling like myself, or, you know, maybe something's happened that just takes that sparkle away a little bit, this deck really helps me work through that to find it again. And I just love it. But I do have to say, I think, like, now that it's summer and with these bright colors, I just know this is gonna come out even more. I don't bring this out much for my morning polls, my daily ones. But I know I really want to, especially like going through this again now. Ugh, it's so good. I mean, look at that card. So good. So this is the Playful Heart Tarot. Okay, we're gonna try and move a little bit faster since I spent who knows how long on the Prairie Majesty Oracle, but that's okay. Hopefully you all don't mind my rambling, because I don't think there's much I can do about it. So the next deck, what do I want to talk about next? I don't think there's, at this point, really a point in trying to... I can't alternate Oracle and Tarot. There's a lot more Tarot here. So we're just going to go for the next one. That is the Tarot of the She. So this is a newer deck to me. And I have already used it in my daily pull rotation. And I really enjoyed it. But since then, I have trimmed it. And I love how it came out. Because the one complaint I kind of had when I used it for my daily pulls was that I just felt like I couldn't see the artwork super well. So all I did was take off the side borders, and since doing that, I just have such an easier time reading with it. I enjoy it a lot more. But this one really feels, I mean, my plan is, working with fairies is also a newer thing to me, but it's something that I feel really connected to, and it almost, in a way where I feel like I kind of always have been working with fairies, just not intentionally, if that makes sense. But intentionally working with fairies is a newer thing for me. So fairy decks are something I anticipate are going to stay out regardless of the season. But I do find, I mean, at this point, I've got a few. I've got a few fairy decks, and I really enjoy them all, and I feel like they kind of fit different energy that I'm trying to connect with. So, like my Victorian Fairy Tarot, that feels to me very springtime fairy, where this one feels so summery, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. It could just be all the oranges, and the depictions of the landscape is so green that it just makes me think of summertime. Where, for example, like the Hush Tarot, I know it's not necessarily specifically marketed as a fairy tarot, but I feel like we can all agree that it is. That one I use every day for my fairy pulls, but feels very like fall winter to me. So yeah, like how summery is that? I enjoy this deck a lot. I've not gotten to use it too much yet, but I'm really, really excited to bring this out for the summertime. And actually, I kind of wonder if maybe I should try it for my daily fairy pull. I tried it while I'd had the borders, and again, it just, something about the borders was making it not really work out for me, so I should try it again. Because it's really, I was getting this card a lot. How spooky! But I'm really excited about this one. The guidebook is really awesome. So, this is the Tarot of the She. All right, we'll do the Oracle, the last Oracle next. Now, this is not to say that, like, these are the only decks I'm going to be using throughout this whole season. I just wanted to bring out the ones that I know I'm going to want to be working with. I've got some others in my little bucket that I put out that I feel like I would like to work with this time of year, but they don't necessarily feel specifically summery. So, anyway, the next deck is my combined Bestiary and Herbiary. This is one I really enjoy to use for my animal messages reading that I offer. I don't think I mentioned this in the beginning. I will leave a link to my Etsy shop below, which is where you can find my crocheted tarot bags. I tend to update the shop every Sunday, so look out for it then. But you can also book readings through Etsy. And I do an animal messages reading that I separate out the bestiary for, and it's just one of my favorite ones to use for that. And this one, the herbiary feels a little bit more specifically summery to me, I think because now is kind of when I'm doing my gardening and things of that sort, so I want to lean into that energy a little bit more, where again, animal energy is something I work with all year round. But I do really like combining these two into one big oracle. There are a lot of times I separate them out, but as general use, for my daily polls, I'll combine them. And I just love this imagery, and the colors are so bright and vibrant. I think that's what makes it feel really summery to me. I wonder how many times I've said the word summery. Probably a lot. Like, look at that. How pretty is that? Oh, it's so good. I really like these two together. I have to say, I tend to use the bestiary more because that I like using for my personal pulls, but it kind of has a double purpose where it's got its, for now, pretty much permanent spot in that animal messages reading. Sometimes I'll use the woodland wardens, just kind of depending on the energy I'm picking up from the other person. Sometimes, like, woodland wardens, oh my gosh, I said that so wrong. Woodland wardens is such a specific feel that I feel like it matches up with specific people's energies to me. I don't know if that makes sense, but for my readings, I like to kind of intuitively pick out the decks, so they're not always going to be the same. A lot of the times the central oracle will be, not always, but I really enjoy pulling this one out for that. So this is my combined Bestiary and Herbiary. So next we have, I'm going to do the next one, and the last two are very new to me. So we'll do those last. The next one is my Mystic Masters 2nd edition. I have been so enjoying this deck. It's been really awesome. But the bright colors, woo! The bright colors bring it to a really like springtime and summertime space for me. I know I'm going to be using this through the fall and winter too, just because I love it so much. But I just wanted to show it because with the updated colors, I just really feel like it's going to be fun to use this time of year with some brighter oracles and more colorful oracles. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I really love this one. Look at the reds. It's the reds and the oranges and the greens are so good. This is the Mystic Masters 2nd edition. And actually, I just realized I forgot to pull over a deck. But you know what? That one's also newer to me. So now we're just going to say the last 3 are decently new to me decks. I've not really gotten to work with these much. So the first one is oh my gosh, I get this name mixed up with another one. This is the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And this one's been trimmed. So it doesn't have the border. So it is it's the bigger version with the gloss, but it's been trimmed down. And I was really interested to try this deck out for the guidebook, and because it really goes its own direction. Something about that just really captured my attention, I guess you could say. So I traded for this one. Not on a whim, really. I'd been kind of eyeing this one for a while, just being really interested in it. It's not my typical art style at all. Like, not at all. But the vibrancy of it, it's just got such powerful colors. I don't know what other word to use besides, like, they just feel really powerful. And something with that feels really summery. Like, that card is so summery. But yeah, I've really not gotten to work with this one. I want to dedicate some time to it, to learn the book a little bit better. Yeah. But I like having it in person. I really enjoy the imagery. I didn't expect to love it, but I really like it. I'm excited to give this one a shot. It's very different for me, but also not, because it's connected to that earth energy that, again, I really enjoy working with. So this is the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. 2 more. The next is the Stolen Child Tarot, which I did recently I posted a flip through of. And this one feels pretty spring and summer, but it's got actually not even just the brine suit, which is the cups. There's a lot of scenes on the beach or in the ocean, and I think that brings it to a summery place for me. But I've been really enjoying this deck so far. I love that it's a little bit creepy with the children kind of like wearing these animal pelts, but also like kind of being these like half children, half animal type thing. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with that, but I like it. I do think I want to trim this one. I'm really thinking about it. I'm not positive, but I think I'm probably going to end up doing it. See, like, these kinds of cards make it feel really summery to me. Oh, I love this card. You can hear that little baby's laugh. But yeah, this was one I was really excited to try, and again, I'm excited to continue working with it. This is one of my decks for this week, and I've been really enjoying it so far. So that Oh, I love this. Look at that. I love the oak suit because you get a lot of squirrels, and I love squirrels, and a lot of rabbits. So that is the Stolen Child Tarot. Last one. Oh, there's probably so many others that no, not so many maybe, but there's others I probably could have included, but I don't know. They're ones that really could have fit into so many other seasons that I was like, oh, let's not make this video a million years long. But this is one I'm super excited about, and that is the Queer Tarot. And I plan to be spending the whole month of June with this deck. Not exclusively this deck, because again, I just need the variety. But it will be in my weekly deck rotation for the month. And again, it's the colors. I probably said that for every single deck, but oh, it's just so bright and fun. It just makes me smile. I don't have another deck that is vibrant in this way. It feels very like, thank you. Okay, it feels very like vintage in a but in like a 70s, 80s, 90s kind of way. I don't know, all them tied together. It's so fun. I don't tend to be drawn to more modern decks like this, but I think because it has that slight vintage feel and just these wonderful colors. Oh, I am so excited about it. It's been reading really well for me, and it just feels fun. Which I love. Because in the summer, I feel like sometimes I just want it to be a little bit lighter and fun. Not to say that this is like necessarily a light reading deck. Still tells me what I need to hear, but how can you not smile at those bright colors and just all these different people? I just love it. I've really been loving it. The Two of Cups is my favorite card. Has the cat head in the sky. So good. So yeah, that is the Queer Tarot, and that is my last summer deck, or summery deck, that I have to show you. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too long, or if I did, that you just enjoyed it. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and end of your week.